Welcome to my kitchen, y'all. This is David Locke, and this is my blog, Boots and Bow Ties. My blog about everything cooking, gardening, and home. And for 22 years, I owned my own advertising agency and graphic design firm. And one of the ways that I networked and brought business into my firm was by having breakfast in my office and in my home. So you can imagine over that time, I found some foolproof ways to create breakfast for a large group of people. This is one of my most foolproof recipes. This is my egg, cheese, and sausage casserole, and you don't need a lot of ingredients. The great thing about it also is you can put it together the night before, put it in the refrigerator, and then allow it to come to room temperature the next morning, and then simply put it in your oven. And after about 40 minutes, boom, you've got breakfast for at least 8 people. Let's go through the ingredients you're gonna need. They couldn't be more simple. You're gonna need a Pyrex dish, some cooking spray, 12 ounces of the sausage of your choice. I've got Jimmy Dean regular sausage, 2 cups of freshly grated cheese, 6 eggs, a cup of milk, salt, and pepper. Now you can make your own crust, but after a hard day of work and then you've got work the next day, making a quiche and making your own crust is something that might be a little bit difficult for many people. So enter this ingredient. This is Pillsbury crescent rolls. And you can roll this on the bottom of the Pyrex dish, heat it in the oven for about 5 minutes to set it, and you've got a wonderful crust that's so easy to make. If you do want to make your own crust, look at my recipe for pat bliss. That is something I use for a lot of quiche, but this is a great time saver. So now let's take a look at how we make it. The first thing we're going to do is prepare our crust. So I've got my 9 by 13 Pyrex dish, and just to make cleanup easier, I'm going to spray this very well with a cooking spray. Then I have opened up my can of crescent rolls, and I'm going to be very careful with this, and I'm just simply going to unroll that in one sheet all over the Pyrex dish. Then I'm going to bake this at 350 degrees for about 5 minutes, just to sort of set that and allow it to rise slightly. Then we're going to go brown our sausage. Just in case you're someone who's never browned sausage before, what I've done is I've taken that roll of sausage and I've just simply begun to break it up. You don't have to put any oil down, put it on medium heat, and then just simply work it around, breaking it up until it's nice and brown and there's no pink. I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. I've browned my sausage. I've cooked out all of the pink. I haven't browned it incredibly well, but I've wanted to make sure all of the pink is out of it. Now I'm going to drain it. I'm simply going to take a heat-proof bowl. I like one that has a handle and a spout. I'm just going to take some paper towel and put that down in there. And then I'm just going to simply put my sausage in that bowl and in that paper towel so that we can drain most of the fat away. And in just a minute, I'll show you how to assemble the casserole. Now let's assemble the casserole. You can see my crust has set very nicely. It's risen slightly. Now, if you want to keep this in the refrigerator overnight, one of the things that I would suggest is to allow the crust and the sausage to completely cool. I found that it slightly cooks the egg a little bit, and so you don't get as quite a nice of a fluffy casserole. But I'm going to cook this right now, so let me show you how we assemble it. First thing I'm going to do is just simply take my sausage, and I'm just going to crumble that all over my casserole. And I want to make sure that it's very nice and well distributed all across the bottom of the crust. Then I've got my 6 eggs. I've whisked them here together. I'm going to put in 1 cup of milk. I've tried heavy cream before. I think it gets a little greasy. Then I'm going to put in some fresh cracked pepper, not too much. And then we've got a good bit of cheese going in here, so we don't need a lot of salt, so about a teaspoon of salt. Then we're going to simply take our casserole. It's a little hot. And we're going to whisk that egg mixture and milk mixture together very well. And then we're just going to simply pour that over top of our meat very evenly. And then I have grated 2 cups of cheese, and I've grated it on top of a paper towel, which makes it so much easier to work with. And I'm just going to evenly distribute that all over the top of my casserole. At this point, you could put saran wrap over top of it, and you could save it till the next morning to cook it. When you bring it out of the refrigerator, if you're going to cook it overnight, or save it overnight, not cook it overnight, but if you're going to put it in the refrigerator, just make sure that the next morning when you bring it out, you allow it to come close to room temperature. Then you're going to cook it in the oven for about 40 minutes until the center has set at 350 degrees. I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. So the timer's just gone off, and I've taken the casserole out of the oven. Mine's been in there for about 30 minutes. My oven cooks a little faster than most, and you can see it's nice and firm. It's even started to cook away just a little bit. I'll let this set for just a few minutes, and then I'll cut it into 6 to 8 very nice slices. And this keeps very well. You can even put it in the refrigerator. I hope you and your family enjoy this. This is a wonderful thing to make, especially for Christmas morning or anytime you have a large group coming for the holidays. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our blog at www.bootsandbowties.com. Click the little black subscribe button under my picture, and you'll receive several emails each week with new recipes and new tips. Merry Christmas!